Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got an absolute courtroom spectacle for you. A full-on sovereign citizen meltdown featuring a classic Karen in Judge Webster's courtroom. Trust me, you're not going to want to blink because this one is packed with drama, wild claims, and straight-up chaos. We're not just breaking down today's hearing either. We're also revisiting 3 previous court appearances that she actually references in this video, so you get the full backstory. And here's the best part. We're starting with her very first appearance from September 2024. Except plot twist, she didn't even show up. Buckle up, because this is about to get messy.
Next matter is State versus... Did we take care of Tracy Phillips?
No, Your Honor, we have not.
All right. Counsel, that reflects a summons. Does your file reflect a service? Find that Mr. Phillips is not here. 9 o'clock docket, it's 12.
It does, Your Honor. The return on the summons that I have in my file would appear to indicate residential service on a third party, seemingly a roommate, back in June.
All right, I'm going to issue a warrant, not a bench warrant, but a warrant for, as there's already been an attempt to get service. It's been unsuccessful. Perhaps it was successful and blown off, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to set bond at 1,000 cash or surety.
Very good, Your Honor.
Pretty simple, guys. Skip your court date, and you're basically rolling the dice with a possible jail sentence waiting for you. No shortcuts, no loopholes. But things get interesting at her next appearance, because this time she actually showed up. It went down on January 8th of this year. And trust me, you're not going to believe the kind of antics she pulled in that courtroom.
We are on the record in 2023 TR 3395, State of Kansas versus Tracy Lynn Phillips. Jared Regier for the state. The defendant, Miss Phillips, appears in person and pro se. Let's see. September 4th, the defendant failed to appear. Miss Phillips, I trust you posted that $1,000 cash or surety bond.
Well, yes, I didn't have a choice.
Right. Well, you could have stayed in jail, but that's not a very good choice. All right. We are showing in count 1 that you were driving, the state's alleging you were driving without a tag or an expired tag, November 8th of 23. And then that the vehicle not only had an expired tag, but a plate was on there that wasn't assigned to it.
And Your Honor,
Yes.
with court certification, I am showing that an amended information was filed back in June of 2024.
Okay, let me go off of that one then. Is this the case where she was here and there were allegations of identity theft or something? I remember her name associated with that. That case was dismissed, wasn't it?
Your Honor, I would need to review my notes further, but the state's understanding is that is an unrelated matter.
Unrelated. Okay. All right. Well, Ms. Phillips, there is an amended information, as counsel said, that was filed June 12th of 2024. And that, the official charging document that you're on today, alleges in count 1 that you were on November 8th, 2023 in Butler County operating a motor vehicle on a highway of this state while displayed was a license plate or registration decal other than the one assigned. As charged, this is an unclassified misdemeanor and it carries a fine up to $2,500 and a sentence of 30 days to 6 months. Failure to register, count 2 was dismissed by the state on June 11, 2024. Then in count 3, you're accused of operating that vehicle without insurance or at least being able to provide proof. That is as charged, a B non-person misdemeanor. If convicted, there is a $300 fine up to $1,000 and up to 6 months in the county jail. Count 4 alleges that you apparently moved from the address given when you applied for and received your Kansas driver's license, and you failed to notify the Division of Motor Vehicles of the new address within 10 days after moving. This charge is an unclassified misdemeanor, which typically carries a fine up to $500 and a possible sentence up to 30 days. I don't know what your history is. I don't know if
That should have also been dropped, because I brought that in. I did that over the internet.
I'm sorry, what did you bring in?
I dropped that over. I did that over the internet. My change of address, and had brought that in. The date that was on my actual ticket that the officer gave me, I came in on that date. There was no court date. I brought in that change of address then.
Are you going to want an attorney to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you going to be able to hire an attorney, or do you need to apply for counsel?
I can try and hire an attorney.
You think you have the means to do so? Okay. Well, if you don't, please get an application. You might take an application with you in case you don't. Like maybe you get out there and you find out that they're more expensive than you thought or something like that. So while you're here in the courthouse, it doesn't hurt to take a form with you. And if you need a court appointed, get that back to me soon. Don't wait till your next court date.
Sure.
Because unfortunately, the next attorney docket traffic date, Destiny, is that April 16th also?
No, Your Honor, that would be March 17th.
Oh, okay. March 17th. You need to be back here March 17th. That's St. Patrick's Day. So March 17th at 9 a.m. with your attorney ready to proceed.
Spoiler alert, on March 17th, she actually made it to court. But here's the plot twist, her attorney didn't. Don't worry, the court softered. You'll see exactly what I mean. Explains later in the video why that happened. And trust me, it's a wild explanation you won't want to miss.
Next one up is Tracy Phillips. She's pro se.
Okay. We are on the record in 23 TR 3395, State of Kansas versus Tracy Lynn Phillips. Jared Regier for the state. Defendant Tracy Phillips appears in person and pro se. Miss Phillips, this is, of course, not your first appearance. That was back September 4th, and you failed to appear at that hearing. Then you were here January 8th, and you wanted to hire an attorney. You were informed if you were able to hire, you needed to fill out an application, which apparently you did not do.
Not for public defender, no.
So how do you want to proceed on these 4 traffic charges: driving without tag, driving without tag displayed, driving without insurance, and driving without changing your address or phone?
Yeah, I changed my address. I wasn't driving this vehicle. I mean, I drive a company truck.
All right, so you're pleading not guilty. You want this set for trial?
Yes, I do.
And are you going to have an attorney represent you?
I'm going to try to. I'm trying to find an attorney.
Okay, but you don't want to apply for court appointed, is that right?
No, I don't. Last one threw me under the bus. I prefer not to do that.
Okay, we're going to go to trial at 1:30 on, what's your next trial date, Jen?
May 14th.
May 14th at 1:30. You must be back here. You can either be in person or by Zoom, May 13th or May 14th at 1:30.
Okay.
But with or without counsel, we're going to take this to trial because...
Not a problem.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Phillips. You're excused at this time.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You heard Judge Webster loud and clear. Whether she had her attorney or not, the court was moving forward with the trial at the next hearing. And that brings us straight into today's chaos. I showed you those earlier clips because they all get referenced in today's video. And trust me, what happens next makes those first 3 hearings look tame. So buckle up, because this is about to get way more intense.
Let's check in with Tracy Phillips.
She is a pro se defendant in court security. Now, Miss Phillips, you're charged, we're not on the record yet, but Miss Phillips, you're charged with a tag violation, another form of tag violation, no liability insurance, and not changing your address. We are set for trial. Are you wanting to have a trial on that, Miss Phillips, or do you want to try to talk to the county attorney and come to a resolution? What's your plan on this, since you're representing yourself?
I'm sorry, I just assume be done with it. I mean, I can talk to the county attorney. I don't have an issue with that as well. I guess I'm not understanding why you don't have my change of address.
Well,
That
I
was
don't
done
get
over the internet.
that. I don't
Okay.
get that. It goes to Topeka Department of Revenue. It's for your
Well, it
driver's
was-
license.
Yes, well, it was brought in and should have been added to the long time ago when I first got the ticket.
Okay, but it's not like insurance. Well, all right, we'll say that. Right now, we are on the record in 2023 TR 3395, State of Kansas versus Tracy Lynn Phillips. Jared Regier appearing for the state. The defendant, Ms. Phillips, appears in person and pro se. Ms. Phillips, I understand that you're wanting to represent yourself on this matter. Is that correct?
Well, I don't have a choice.
Well, you have had the opportunity since November 8th of 23 to either
Yes, ma'am, I
hire an
did.
attorney
To
or
hire an
apply.
attorney. Nobody wants to take my case.
All right. And if you cannot afford an attorney, you've had
It's
the
not
opportunity.
about not affording it, because I have to need a hand to an attorney. Nobody wants to take my case to deal with Butler County, is the problem.
All right. The alternative, if you could not afford it, you could have applied for court appointed. Am I correctly understanding you to say, though, that you could afford it, you just couldn't find an attorney to take the case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right. And so you're going to represent yourself today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Are
Is
we going by common law or admiralty law?
Sometimes I honestly wonder if she ever stops to think why no lawyer wants to touch her case. And just to be clear, we're dealing with Kansas law here, straight from the Kansas revised statutes, not admiralty law, not common law, and definitely not the law of the land from Narnia. None of that fantasy nonsense applies in this courtroom, and Judge Webster isn't entertaining it for a second.
Well, we're going by statutory law in the state of Kansas. So
And if this is a trial, why is there no jury?
this is not a jury trial because it was set for bench trial. You didn't ask for a
Okay.
jury trial.
I didn't consent to any of this, but
All right. So you want to proceed with trial, or did you want to try to negotiate an outcome with the prosecutor?
I can speak with the prosecutor.
Well, I'm not trying to talk you into it. I'm just trying to afford you the opportunity that an attorney would take if he represented
Yes, ma'am,
you.
I understand.
All right. So what is your wish? Do you want, if he's willing to talk to you and if he's willing to consider a negotiation, are you wanting to do that?
Sure. Yes, ma'am.
Now, Mr. Regier, when I ask you this, I don't mean to suggest you have to or that there'll be consequences if you don't. But as I said, I just want to afford the defendant the opportunity, but that's subject to if you want to do it. So do you want to take the time, or are you willing to take the time to visit with her, or do you think there's any productive outcome possible from that?
Your Honor, at this time, the state would request clarification from the court whether it is finding that the defendant is representing herself and has appropriately waived her right to counsel. Based off of prior statements made on the record today, there does appear to be, if the court will pardon the conjecture, a certain degree of ambiguity on that point, and the state would be requesting a formal finding on the record, which would appear to be most procedurally appropriate.
All right. Is the officer still there with you, Miss Phillips?
I am.
Mhm.
Could you provide her with a written waiver of counsel to read?
I can.
Thank you. Let me know when she has that. Basically, Ms. Phillips, I believe you'll find it to be a brief written statement for you to look over to make sure that you understand your rights concerning an attorney and that you know them, and that in spite of the rights, you want to waive them and proceed.
Oh, well, I can already tell you, no, I don't want to. I'm not going to do that.
You're not going to waive your right to an attorney?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Then what are you going to do? I don't see an attorney.
No, ma'am, you don't. But that doesn't stop me from speaking with the DA if he is more than willing to.
Well, he doesn't want to do it until he makes sure that you are knowingly waiving your rights.
Because then I'm giving up a right to speak. That makes no sense, Your Honor. Truly.
Independent of whether you talk to him or not.
I'm sorry?
Regardless of whether you talk to him or not, do you want an attorney?
Well, he said himself he didn't want, he wasn't willing to until I signed this waiver.
That's
waiving
right.
my right. He didn't want to speak to me until then.
If you're going to go out and get an attorney, he has to ethically go through the attorney. And that's why he is following his conscience on the ethical issue.
Okay.
And his obligations.
This whole thing is an ethical issue, ma'am.
You're muted. Deputy Wise, you muted?
That was me. I just explained to her what this waiver meant, so that the attorney could talk to her.
All right. Well, be careful giving her legal advice. I think it could.
It wasn't. It was very simple.
I just tell her about
it was
the form.
layman's terms.
Okay.
You need me to sign this?
Yes, put your name there and sign it there for me.
Only if you believe you understand. Ms. Phillips?
Yep, I understand. Do I need to sign it in my straw man name or my birth name?
Well, your legal name.
Well, because that's two separate things.
Your legal name is separate from what?
The straw man that the government has created, which is what's on my driver's license.
Well then, go ahead and sign it with the same name your mom yelled when she rolled you down the stairs as a baby. Because apparently, that's the only name that matters in your world.
That's not the name your parents gave you that's on your driver's license?
No, that's not grammatically correct. That is not my given name on my driver's license.
All right. What name did your parents give you?
Tracy Lynn Phillips.
All right. And that's on your birth certificate?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's not the name on your driver's license?
The government created.
That's not the name on your driver's license? Tracy Lynn Phillips is not the name?
It's not the same one.
All right. What's the name on your driver's license?
Tracy Phillips.
Just Tracy Phillips? They took off the Lynn?
The one on the driver's license is not grammatically correct, ma'am.
All right. How is it not correct?
It's all in capitals.
Oh,
That's not grammatically correct.
I see. Okay, I see where we're going. All right.
So I need to know, ma'am, am I supposed to put the one that's in all capitals? That's on my driver's license on here? And then sign it?
Miss
as the entity to Tracy Lynn Phillips?
I'm run out of my patience with you. You need to settle down.
I'm just asking a question. I'm just asking a question.
No, you're not. You're not just asking a question.
Anything. I simply asked a question.
Look, Miss Phillips, you see that officer sitting next to you?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Do you know I have the authority to tell him to put you into custody until you're ready to cooperate? Now, I don't want to do that, but you're being belligerent and difficult in this court's opinion.
I don't understand what you're wanting from me. I'm really not being difficult.
All right, I want you to stop talking for a moment, and I want you to tell me, did you read the form in front of you?
Yes, ma'am, I did read the form.
And you signed the form. No, you haven't signed it because you don't know what
I
name
have
to
it
use.
because I wasn't sure if I'm supposed to, what name am I supposed to add the ones in capitals?
I want you to sign your legal name.
Put first name up here. Or your name up here.
Deputy, please don't help her. I know you mean well, but I'm afraid that it could become a problem for you and her and me both.
I just showing her to where to write her name in the slot. So
I know, but I don't think you ought to be doing that. Thank you. I know you mean well. All right. So, do you have any questions about the document you just signed?
No, ma'am, I do not.
All right. And you do know that you can hire an attorney? Yes or no?
I understand.
And do you understand if you could not afford an attorney, you could apply and see if one could be appointed? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
And knowing that those two facts, you are waiving your right to counsel and representing yourself today. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to counsel today on the record, both in writing and in oral fashion. Now, with that being said, Mr. Regier, I'll just open it up to whether or not you want to attempt any kind of negotiation with her, or if you want to proceed with the trial that we have scheduled and the witness that you have subpoenaed and appears today.
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, at this juncture, what I would tell the court is that for purposes of resolving this case short of trial, if the defendant pleads as charged to all charges, the state would be prepared to recommend non-reporting probation. The state does not have anything further to add at this time. The state would further be recommending, in addition to non-reporting probation, underlying sentences, court costs, and fines.
All right, Mr. Phillips. That's all he's going to say to you. Apparently he's not going to meet with you privately.
That's fine.
But he is saying that he would recommend non-reporting probation if you plead as charged. So how do you want to proceed?
No,
do you want to,
I'm sorry.
you want to proceed with your trial then?
Yes, ma'am.
Very well. Are there any
I
opening
don't agree with that.
statements? You don't agree with his offer?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay.
I would like to ask the officer if he has video of that day of me driving.
Now, we'll be back on the record in 2023 TR 3395, State of Kansas versus Tracy Lynn Phillips. All parties appearing as before. Jared Regier for the state. The defendant, Tracy Lynn Phillips, in person and pro se, having signed a waiver of counsel and orally waived right to counsel as well, both on the record. And we are ready to start the bench trial with Master Trooper Kane ready to testify, it looks like. But before he does, any opening statement, Mr. Regier?
Judge, can I say one thing? She took back that.
Go ahead, Deputy.
She took back that waiver, so that makes a difference.
All right, where's your attorney? Who's going to represent you?
We've already discussed that.
Well, you signed a written waiver. What do you mean you take it back? Do you mean you want to proceed with an attorney? You either have an attorney or you don't.
I don't know. Your Honor.
Yes.
This whole thing, I don't even know what to do. I have tried to hire an attorney. I do not want a court appointed. Was thrown under the bus last time. I don't even understand why I have this ticket to begin with.
Well, an attorney could help with that.
It's ridiculous.
But you have, I don't recall you gave me any indication before that we were going to have the issues today that we're having.
Because I was never allowed to say anything. There were issues, case in point, going to jail twice on a warrant, Mr. Reiger, that wasn't me. Quite obviously,
Is this still the same case that you said initially back in, a couple of years ago, it wasn't you?
Why I was initially here when I saw you the first time? Yes, that most certainly wasn't me. I'm not a 6-foot black man.
Okay. All right, Ms.
Apparently,
Phillips,
that's
we
what
need
it
to get
says.
on with-
That's what it says on the warrant. That's what it says on the warrant.
We need to get on with this hearing one way or the other. You have waived your right
I'm going to
to
find an
counsel
attorney
now.
then.
Well, you will if I continue this to allow you to do so, because this case has gotten some age on it. It's a
Ma'am, it
2023 case.
Yes.
It's a 2023 case. Now, don't talk over me.
Just soon be
Stop.
done with it.
Stop. It's a 2023 case, and you failed to appear several times.
No, I did not,
And then-
ma'am. I did not fail to appear.
And we've been through this issue of the attorney for a while now. And by the way, I do show you failed to appear September 4th, 2024. And this is not open to debate or further discussion on that issue. The court's taking judicial notice of its own records. Now, you've had since the first appearance, September 4th, if you'd been here, but we weren't able to get you here until January 8th. And you told us you were going to hire an attorney, but that you were unable to find one, apparently. And there was discussion about you filling out an application for court appointed. And so all of this, and that was back in January, and then we were going to come back in March, and we did. And that's when it was set for bench trial. But Mr. Regier, is this the continuation of that first case? Because the notes aren't gelling with what I recall in that other case.
One moment, Your Honor.
I think that was this 2019 case that was dismissed. Well, she was dismissed with one count of guilty to speeding, maybe. One of us may be confused on this, because I show that you had a 2019 TR 1413. You were operating a motor vehicle without a valid license. That charge was dismissed in exchange for your plea of guilty to speeding.
No.
Well, that's what your record says. And that's what I'm thinking, that maybe you're running the two together. But anyway, Mr.
I
Regier,
never pled on that case.
All right. Well, maybe you were found guilty at trial, but it looks like you pled.
No, it never went to trial. Mr. Reiger was supposed to have wiped that one and the other one off because it was obvious that it wasn't me. I have never lived in Topeka in my life.
All right.
That's the one you're talking about.
Mr. Regier, I'm ready to go to trial.
Your Honor,
Are you ready?
Your Honor, I believe the court had previously made reference to Butler County 19 TR 1413. The state's records indicate that there was a plea of guilty in 2019 to one count of speeding. And the state, what I would also tell the court is, in the current case, actually on the docket today, 23 TR 3395, the state is prepared to proceed to trial.
All right.
And Your Honor, as a preliminary matter, is the court finding that the defendant has revoked her waiver of counsel in light of the statements on the record?
Well, I tell you, we've been all over the board on that, Miss Phillips.
I don't even have the 19.
Miss Phillips, this is your final answer that I'm wanting here. We're going to stick with it. Are you waiving your right to an attorney, or
No, ma'am,
are
I'm
you
not.
not?
No,
All
ma'am.
right. Now, you said you've talked to attorneys. None of them will take your case in
Yes,
Butler
ma'am.
County. What can you tell me that will be different if I continue this to allow you to find an attorney if none of them will work in Butler County?
I'm going to go across the street and speak with the one attorney that I haven't spoken with. And will more than, I'm sorry,
Who will that be?
Gail Jensen.
Does he expect you today?
No, ma'am, he does not.
And do you have any reason to believe he would take your case? Because I understood he was retired or trying to be retired.
Can I give you a guarantee that he will?
I'm not asking
take
for
my
a
case.
guarantee. I said, do you have reason to believe he'll take your case?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Yeah. Oh, yes, ma'am. I do.
Okay. You have a history or something that with him that makes you think that?
Yes, ma'am.
And what if he says no? Then what will you do?
Well, then I will get a recommendation from him. And if I show up next time without an attorney, well, then you can just throw me in jail.
Miss Phillips, I just have a hard time believing.
Ma'am, I am frustrated by this whole thing. The whole thing. Mr. Ryder, I don't know what this 19 case is, where I supposedly pled guilty to speeding.
You're not going to have a conversation with him.
None of this makes any sense to me. Oh,
Miss Phillips,
I have to.
I really don't want to have that officer take you out to the jail, but
It ain't gonna happen.
oh, it might. Okay. Now, Mr. Radier, we've been at this for so long now. Looks like the original case was open November 16th of 23, but the ticket was issued November 8th of 23. And I'm not sure if this is the first time Trooper Kane has been subpoenaed in here or not, because we did have.
What I would tell the court, Your Honor, is that today's setting does appear to be the first bench trial setting in this matter.
All right. So are you not objecting to the continuance? Or were you just stating a fact?
The state is merely stating a fact, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have an objection?
Your Honor, I think the court has already made its concerns about the age of this case and timely reaching a disposition. It would appear the defendant has made certain statements about, I guarantee, to use her words, that she will have Mr. Jensen represent him in this case. I have no personal knowledge to any communications they may not have. But again, in light of the age of the case, as well as the defendant's statements on the record, the state does believe a timely administration of justice is especially appropriate in this matter, and the state did issue its subpoenas for the presence of the officer. The officer has taken time out of his schedule to appear here today, and absent any other concerns the court may have, I will tell the court the state is prepared to proceed to trial, but again, acknowledging a defendant's right to counsel in these types of situations, but I'm not sure how the court wishes to reconcile that in light of the prior procedural history of this case and the statements made by the defendant on the record here today.
Well, I don't want to repeat. If I continue this, I don't want to repeat it today. I don't want to hear, Miss Phillips. I don't want you to come in and use the excuse that no attorney will come to Butler County, because they do it all the time. I know they will. And I don't want you to sign a waiver. I don't want you to tell me you waive and then you take it back. You either are going to, this is your last chance, you're either going to get an attorney or we're going to proceed, because you have had since 2023 to get an attorney. And you said you have the money to do it. You said you don't want to use a court-appointed attorney. You said something about last time. You didn't apparently like the results of the last court-appointed attorney, maybe. But I'm not quite sure I'm catching everything you're throwing out there. So at this time, very reluctantly, I will continue this bench trial. Because yes, you're entitled to have an attorney, but you are not entitled to use it willy-nilly back and forth to delay proceedings or anything of that sort. So, Jenna, when's our next available bench trial?
Your Honor, I have July 16th.
Sounds like you're itching to cross-examine the state's witness, but that only happens at trial. And if your story matches every other window liquor reading from this same tired script, brace yourself, because you're looking at a much harsher outcome than simple non-reporting probation. Oh, and if you heard a male voice calling out to the judge at the end, don't worry, that wasn't part of her circus. That was another attorney from a completely different case, and Judge Webster briefly pauses this hearing to handle that matter. But we're back in seconds.